Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. So today we're currently parked in Glenlochy, and up here is where we're going today. So you've got Beinn Louis and Chleibh is behind there, and then the Beinn that we're going to be coming down from is there as well. These two Munros are known for being notoriously boggy and also for the river crossing. And it's not rained here in over a week, so we were like, oh, we'll come and do these two to get them done. So hopefully it won't be too bad, I'm hoping, although the bit through the forest is meant to be like really boggy, but we'll see. I've also got new shoes on, so this will be interesting to see what these look like at the end. So we've purposely chose to do this walk today for a reason, and that is because of this river crossing right here. So this is the River Lochy, and it's known to be like really impassable in spate, but I couldn't tell you the last time it rained, to be honest. It's been well over 1 week of just pure sunshine, and I think it's probably been closer to 2 weeks without rain. So this is like perfect conditions for doing this. And also, in a bit, we've got this section through the trees that's meant to be notoriously boggy. Like, that's what it's well known for. This walk is known for the river crossing and its bog. We've just crossed under the railway bridge, and it is a lot lower than it looks, I'll just say. Like, you have to crouch down quite a lot. But now we're going to be heading up into the trees and then up towards Beinn Louis. Okay, so we've came to the confluence of these two burns now. So you've got the East Dev over here and the East Fionn over here. And we're crossing over between these two burns and going onto this path here. And look at the crossing. I reckon this could be quite difficult in wet weather because it's so dry. It's literally you just walk across it. It's mental. We've just came through this gate here, and we watched Big Andy the Munro Eater's video yesterday, and this bit of bog here looked awful. It went probably like half a metre up his poles. It looks horrible, but today we could just step across it, thankfully. We've just came onto this forestry track right here, and this is the direction which we're going. And soon we'll see a wee cairn which tells us to go up through these trees, and then up onto Beinn Louis eventually. So you have to bash through the trees a wee bit, and then you make it onto that quite good track thing there, through a gate, and then you make it onto this forestry track. One thing about this walk is that it's very steep. I think it's 10k with like 1,100 metres of elevation, which is kind of mad considering the past two Munros that we've done. Like first, which is Beinn and Beinn. Those have both been, well, Beinn was 15k and Beinn was 11k the walk in. We can see the waterfall here, which is the East Dev. And moving around to where Dad is, this is the infamous path that we take to go up through the trees and then into Fionn, where we can either go up Beinn Louis or Chleibh first. So this path here is known for being boggy, mega boggy, like a nightmare. But we're hoping, because of how dry it's been, that it won't be too bad, so who knows. Look at the bog here. This is what we're dealing with. And this is it after a dry spell. Like, imagine if it had been raining for a couple of weeks. And now, oh my god. Alright guys, so we finally made it out of these trees here. And oh my god, that was a nightmare. Like, it was better than it could have been because of how dry the ground was. But like, my arms are like scratched and like, they're just covered in parts of tree because we were just going through the middle of the trees. But we did avoid most of the bog, which was good. Some people have pulled this fence down, which really isn't good, but the gate from the trees is down there, and that's the path that we'll be returning on, which takes you into the quarry and up to the Beinn, where Chleibh is up there and Beinn Louis is up there. We've got good views now down to the trees that we came up to, and the 85 road is just over there. And look at that, look at the views all around us, absolutely beautiful. So over here is the Beinn range, and then we've got Locha over there. This is Chleibh, our second Munro of the day. That's the Beinn between them, and Beinn Louis is way up here. I don't think the video is doing justice just how steep this is, like genuinely. This is the scale that we're climbing up. It's absolutely mental, it's so steep. Alright, over this way we've got the Beinn with Chleibh and Beinn Louis up here. And behind Dad, that is where we're going. And you can just see how steep it is, like genuinely. It's like, whoa, it's just way up. And this is down to where we came from. So we've came from the car park, just over there I believe, across the river and then through those trees, and then like straight up this steep grassy slope here. The path has been quite boggy in places, but it's been good, and it's definitely, you need to do this after a dry spell, because I think it would be horrible if you didn't. We're nearly heights with the Beinn now, and we're at about 750 metres, but this is the second Munro of the day, Chleibh. And this is up to Beinn Louis, which is where we're going. So you can see the ridgeline that will come down to the Beinn. So we just go straight down here to the Beinn and then up the second Munro. So the second one doesn't look nearly as steep and as tiring as this one is. And this is all around us. It's still absolutely beautiful. We've made it into somewhat of a corrie here, as you can see, and up there in the cloud is the summit of Beinn Louis, and then we're going to follow this ridgeline around, and now we've got great views of across to, I think, the Loch Lomond type of area, the Beinn, and then Chleibh, second Munro of the day. And it actually looks pretty easy from the Beinn, so I think it should be, once this one's done, that's like the hardest bit of the day. And then you've got Loch Awe, Cruachan Range, and towards Glencoe and Glen Etive. This has been quite steep going up. Well, I say quite steep, it's been very steep. But it's like, I think we're not miles off being at the top now. We finally made it onto Beinn Louis summit ridge now, and this is up to where we're going. The top's a bit beyond that, I think. But we can also now see over Chleibh, which is our second Munro, and the views all around us are absolutely insane. It's quite hard to pick out individual tops because of the cloud and where it's sitting, so it's quite hard to distinguish them. But over this way, you've got the Blackmount and into Glencoe, Glen Etive, the Cruachan Range, Loch Awe, Chleibh, and over here will be towards like Loch Fyne, Loch Lomond. Loch Lomond will be a bit over here. And then this is a corbett that you can see very well from Tyndrum. And then you've got Bridge of Orchy Hills over this way, right here. So over there will be Beinn Dorain, Beinn Andothid, Beinn Vannick, which I can actually see there. Beinn Acladair and Beinn Cruachan. Beinn Acladair and Beinn Cruachan was where we were last week. And then we've got coming like southeast, and Crian Larrick is currently being blocked by the summit of Beinn Louis. But when we get up to the top, we will get good views of Crian Larrick. It's so hot and I'm so sweaty, it's actually disgusting. Like, look at my fringe. Guys, did you know that this patch of bog right here, that is where the River Tay started? The River Tay flows from there down through Glendochart into Chleibh, where it goes into Loch Tay, and then near Aberfeldy it flows down back in the River Tay, and then it goes near Perth and Dundee, where then it goes out of either the mouth or the Firth of Tay. I can't quite remember what it's called. I find that kind of mad though, that it's got such like humble and small beginnings. Like, look at that. Alright guys, we've made it to the north summit of Beinn Louis. That's the cairn right there. So we've just got to get to the actual summit, which is the south top, and that is it just there. It's so atmospheric up here, like you've got great views this way, and then the more you wrap around, just the more the cloud is. Like we've got no views over that way. And then it just like, as you get to the top, it just divides in half. It's so cool. It's quite airy up here actually, because if you walk to the edge, look at that, that's just a straight drop down into Glenconinish right there. And that actual summit looks like majestic, and it's just mad. It's so cool, and this is known to be one of the finest, if not the finest mountain in the Southern Highlands. Over this way we've got great views to Beinn Os and Beinn de Craig, and then we've got into the Crean Larrick Hills, Beinn More, Stub Binion, Kirk Ardrin, Beinn Tulcan will be hidden over this way, Beinn Acroin, Ankestiel, and then Beinn Shabhair.
For anybody who wants perfection, the Walk Highlands say it's Beinn Hoya. Beinn Hoya.
Whatever Dad said. Okay guys, so we've made it to the summit of Munro 136, Beinn Louis, and we've got mental views. So over this way you've got Beinn de Craig, Beinn Os, and then this ridge line which connects Beinn Louis and Beinn Os, which you could do. You could do these Munros, Beinn Louis, Beinn Chleibh, Beinn Os and Beinn de Craig. You could do them as a four, and it has been done before, but I imagine it'd be quite a long day. And behind them you've got Loch Lomond just poking out there, and then you've got Crean Larrick, so Beinn Hoya. Not Beinn Shabhair over there, and then you've got Ankestiel, Beinn Acroin, Kirk Ardrin, and in the cloud you've got Beinn More and Stub Binion. And then over here you've got Coninish Glen, Beinn Hallam, and towards Glendochart over there. So Skeith Chula Muleglass will be somewhere in this like frame. And then in the clouds will be towards Bridge of Orchy, and more in the clouds to the north you'll have Glen Etive, Loch Awe and Beinn Cruachan, and Glencoe. But I think the most impressive view is definitely this way, because it's just a sheer drop right down to the Corrie and to Coninish Glen. If you weren't doing Beinn Chleibh, and if we weren't doing Beinn Chleibh, we would be doing Beinn Louis from Coninish Glen. The thing is, it makes it a bit of an awkward route, as you'll have to climb over Beinn Louis again to do Beinn Chleibh. And it's like, I think that will be an extra 400 metres of elevation, because it's quite like, this is 1150 and the Belak's 750. So that's like, it's quite a lot. But if you are only doing Beinn Louis, then it would be a far nicer route to take. The views are actually opening up slightly over this way, and you can see the Belak down there, and Beinn Chleibh here. And over there is Beinn Louis' north top. And this is known for having twin summits. So this is the south top and the real summit, and that is the north summit and the north top. We're just starting to head down this path here, which takes us to the Belak there, and then we're going to be going up Beinn Chleibh and then back to the Belak and then down. We've got great views behind us of Beinn Louis, and you can't quite see the top, but it is a bit up there. And then we're about halfway down to the Beinn, but over there, Loch Awe is finally cleared, and we've also got Beinn Chleibh. And it doesn't look as bad as the ascent up Beinn Louis did, to be fair, but it doesn't look super easy either, but we'll see. Over this way, we've got the Arrochar Alps and Beinn Lomond, and we can just about see the end of Loch Lomond, so towards like Gartarharn and Balloch over there. We've made it to the cairn here, which marks the Beinn between Beinn Louis way up there and Beinn Chleibh up here. So this is the way we'll be coming down. We'll be going down that path, and then you could actually see over there, that was the way we went up, just straight up that shoulder, and it's mental, it's so steep. We've got amazing views into the national park though, and towards the Loch Lomond hills, like Beinn Lomond, and then the Arrochar Alps, Beinn, Beinn Narnain, Beinn Vorlich, Beinn Beinn, the Cobbler, all those other ones. It's an absolutely gorgeous day up here though, it's amazing. And this ascent, I think it's only like 150 metres. So after we do this, that's us done the ascent for the day. We've done the main ascent up Beinn Chleibh now, and it's been on this really good path here, as you can see. And it's not been too bad. It's only about 150-ish metres, I think. But just up here, we can see a cairn, and I don't think this is quite the summit. We've got a wee plateau to walk along, but the views are amazing all around us. I'm not going to point these out now, but I will at the top. But let's get to the top. Okay guys, so we've made it here to the summit of Beinn Chleibh, and this is my 137th Munro now. So that's kind of mental, that's quite a lot. I find it so mad that I'm like approaching halfway, because this is just like a random like fun side hobby that I have. But like I find it insane that I'm actually making proper big progress with it. The views up here are actually mental. So over here we've got Loch Awe, and then Kilkern Castle will be on Loch Awe. Then you've got Ben Cruachan and Stobdev, I think, over there. And then you'll have Ben Aonic right here and Ben Ashochiel there. Then you've got into Glen Etive and Glencoe with the Ben Starav-Munros over here. And then you've actually got Ben Nevis there and Carmor Gerag there. Over here is the Black Mount, so that is Stob Gower, and also this here is Stob Acori Oddhair. Behind us you've got Rannoch Moor, that big emptiness, and those ones in the horizon are the Esanes. Then here you've got towards Bridge of Vorkey, Beinn Louis, and Beinn Louis looks absolutely massive. Like look at that, we've been up there, and that ascent route you can actually see, it just goes straight up the side. It's actually horrendous. Then you've got the Crean Larrick Hills, so Crook Ardrin, Ancashsteel, Ben Acroin and Ben Shaber are over that way. Then here you've got Beinn Lomond and Beinn Vorlich. Then you've got Beinn Beinn, Beinn Narnain, Beinn. Then here is actually Beinn View, which you do from Loch Fyne near Inverary, I think. That one, I remember we did it in 2023, and we'd done quite a lot of kilometres, and we were like quite tired already. We looked at the height, we were at 50 metres, and I started crying my eyes out. That's one memory that I have from that hill. But I also remember it was actually quite fun, like once you got near the summit, because there was a pretty decent scramble. And the views were also amazing up there. So to descend, we're going to head back down to the Beinn, and then down the corrie back to where we started, that route up the shoulder of Beinn Louis, and then we're going to keep going through the trees again, and then across the River Lochie and back to the car park. Alright guys, so we're at the junction cairn again. So up here is Beinn Chleibh, and there is Ben Louis, and this is our descent route that we'll be taking. So this takes us back down into Corrie Fionn, and then we're going to be going back through those nightmare trees and across the river. So we're going to be saying bye to this amazing view towards Loch Lomond and Arrochar behind us. And also, can we just admire Ben Louis for a second? Because what the hell? This is the way we came up. Straight up there, and then that path down. It's absolutely insane. It looks massive, and it is massive. Like, someone said it was one of the 20, like, I think it's 26 highest in the whole UK, which is just like insane. But compared to Ben Louis, this one's so easy, it's amazing. But we're going to descend down into the Corrie now, and I'll get you down there. We've made it well and truly down into Fionn Cor now, and that's the Beinn just up there. And then that is Beinn Chleibh, and that is Ben Louis. And I don't think this even does justice to the scale of how steep Ben Louis really is. Like, it's absolutely mental. We've got a bit to head down onto the tree line, but the path coming down from up here has actually been really good. I imagine in wetter conditions it could be a bit like squelchy underfoot, but for us today it's been not that bad. Like, I've still got somewhat dry feet. And this is what we're walking on right now, and it's really nice to walk on. It's just nice and soft. Oh my god guys, so we've just made it to the gate over here, which takes us through the trees. But we can see where we've been, and look at Ben Louis. We've been up there, right along that fence line, and then straight up the side, along to the ridge and up to the top. And that is the slopes like shortened as well, you can tell. Like, oh my god, it just looks insane. And it was insane. And then coming along, you've got the ridge we walked down, and then the Beinn. And then this is Beinn Chleibh, which looks just like a wee tiny lump from Ben Louis. But from here it actually looks really cool. It's very pretty Corrie. We can see the fence over there, which some idiots pulled down. And then that is where we went up. And this is the gate here, which we're going down. You've also got great views over towards Beinn Éanach, Beinn Iashochill, Stob Dev and Beinn Cruachan. We've just came through the gate here, and here's to give a scale of what this bog would normally be like. Like, you can tell this is proper deep bog. Look at that. Look at like how deep it is. But it's literally dry. And you've got boards to step on. It's mental. And if we keep going through here, this is the worst bit that everyone shows on their video. But like, imagine how this could be. It's like, it doesn't look too bad in the grand scheme of things. We've made it down and onto the forestry road now, and this is where we've been through the trees, and you can just see a side shoulder of Beinn Chleibh poking through there. But look at that. We're now heading through these bits of trees and then down back across the River Lochie and then to the bottom. I don't think it's millions of miles from here to the car park.
It was.
Also, look at my shoes, guys. Okay guys, so we've just came down from Ben Louis now, and we're crossing over the River Lochie once again. But this walk today, it's been amazing, and I'm really glad that we've done it today. Because the thing is, this would be an absolute nightmare in wet weather conditions, like genuinely. Firstly, the river, this would just be impassable. Also, I'm aware I'm walking through it right now. My shoes are so muddy, so I'm kind of just making some attempt to clean my shoes, kind of just before we get in the van. But yeah, this would be so muddy, the river would be impassable, the burn crossings would be impassable, and it would probably be like, it'd just be a complete mess right until like 700 meters. So I'm very glad that we've done this today and got it done. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!